In last season, Barcelona were unstoppable. They won La Liga, Copa del Rey, Spanish Super Cup. They dominated Europe until one match destroyed everything. Then this season started with injuries destroying their squad. Back-to-back defeats, crisis mode. But something just changed. And what's happening right now at Barcelona might be the beginning of the greatest comeback story of the season. Subscribe to Cyberboot, because by the end of this video, you'll understand why Barcelona's return to Camp Nou this weekend could change everything. Let's go. Welcome back to Cyberboot, where we break down football's biggest stories with the tactical depth and storytelling they deserve. Barcelona, last season's dominant force, this season's injury crisis nightmare. And now, the team that might be returning to their unstoppable form at the perfect time. Last season, they destroyed almost everyone. Won La Liga, won Copa del Rey, won the Spanish Super Cup. They looked like the Barcelona of OLD, until Inter Milan eliminated them from the Champions League semi-finals in the most heartbreaking way possible. This season started strong. Then injuries hit like a tsunami. Rafinha, Yamal, Lewandowski, Olmo, Pedri, Joan Garcia, one after another, and Barcelona started falling. Defeats to PSG, Sevilla, Real Madrid in El Clásico. Crisis. But now, something's shifted. Players are coming back. Form is returning. And this weekend, Barcelona returned to Camp Nou after 2.5 years away. By the end of this video, you'll understand why this might be Barcelona's moment. But there's a twist in this story that nobody's talking about. Let's dive in. Let's rewind to last season, because to understand where Barcelona are now, you need to understand where they were. 2024-25 season. Barcelona were dominant. They won La Liga. They won Copa del Rey. They won the Spanish Super Cup. Hansi Flick's tactics were working perfectly. The team was clicking. And here's the most insane stat from last season. Barcelona faced Real Madrid 4 times. And they destroyed them every single time. 4 El Clasicos, 4 Barcelona victories, complete and utter domination over their biggest rivals. But then came the Champions League semi-finals, Barcelona versus Inter Milan. And what followed was one of the most painful eliminations in recent Barcelona history. Barcelona dominated those matches. More possession, more shots, more attempts on target. They controlled everything tactically, but they lost, 7-6 on aggregate, knocked out despite being the better team. That defeat haunted Barcelona because it showed that dominance doesn't always equal victory. That sometimes football is cruel, that even when you do everything right, you can still lose. And heading into this season, Barcelona fans had one question. Can we go further in Europe this time? The answer seemed to be yes, until injuries destroyed everything. This season started perfectly for Barcelona. Strong performances, convincing wins, everything looked on track. And then the injuries started. Rafinha, out. One of their most important attacking outlets on the wing, gone. Lamine Yamal, out. The 17-year-old wonder kid who'd become essential to Barcelona's attack, gone. Joan Garcia, out. Their goalkeeper depth, gone. Dani Olmo, out. Gone. Lewandowski, out. Their goal-scoring machine, gone. And then when things couldn't get worse, Pedri got injured too. Suddenly, Barcelona's squad looked thin. Their depth was exposed, and results started to collapse. 2-1 defeat to PSG in the Champions League. Outplayed, outmuscled. 4-1 destruction by Sevilla in La Liga. Humiliated at home. 2-1 defeat to Real Madrid in El Clásico. The rivalry loss that hurt the most. Barcelona were falling apart. The dominant team from last season was nowhere to be seen. Fans were panicking. Hansi Flick was under pressure, and people started asking, is this season over already? But here's where the story takes a turn. Slowly, quietly, things started to change. Lamine Yamal came back from injury, and immediately, he picked up where he left off, creating chances, scoring goals, looking like the future superstar he's destined to be. And then came a name nobody expected to save Barcelona's season, Marcus Rashford. Rashford, who joined Barcelona on loan from Manchester United, has been delivering. Every match, he's contributing. Goals, assists, energy. The kind of impact signing Barcelona desperately needed. Then Lewandowski came back, and in his most recent match, a hat-trick. The Polish goal machine showing he's still one of the most clinical strikers in Europe. Fermin Lopez stepped up massively. With Pedri still out, Lopez has been carrying the midfield, dictating tempo, making key passes, showing maturity beyond his years. And Frenkie de Jong, he's been immense. In Pedri's absence, de Jong has taken control of Barcelona's midfield. His passing, his press resistance, his ability to break lines. He's been the anchor Barcelona needed. Suddenly, Barcelona have options again. Depth, form, momentum, and this weekend it all comes together. It's Saturday, Athletic Club versus Barcelona. But this isn't just another La Liga match. This is Barcelona's return to Camp Nou. After 2.5 years playing at the Olympic Stadium while Camp Nou was renovated, Barcelona are finally going home. And the timing couldn't be more perfect. Rafinha is returning from injury. Joan Garcia is back. The squad is getting healthy again. The team is finding form again. Camp Nou, the stadium that witnessed Barcelona's greatest nights. The stadium where Messi became a legend. Where Xavi orchestrated victories. Where Iniesta scored that goal against Chelsea. Barcelona returning to Camp Nou isn't just symbolic. It's a statement, a message to Europe. We're back. But here's the real test. Because after Athletic Club comes the match that will define Barcelona's season. Chelsea, Champions League. A team Barcelona must beat if they want to progress deep into the competition. Chelsea have been inconsistent this season. But they're dangerous. They have young talent. They have pace. They have a manager in Enzo Maresca who's building something. If Barcelona can beat Chelsea, it proves they're ready to compete at the highest level again. It proves last season's semi-final heartbreak was just a step in their journey, not the end of it. But if they lose, the doubts come flooding back. Here's my first question for you. Do you think Barcelona can beat Chelsea in the Champions League? Or will their injury crisis and inconsistency cost them again? Drop your answer in the comments. I want to hear what Cyberboot's audience thinks. Now, before we get too excited, let's be real for a second. Barcelona have been in this position before. Looking strong, looking healthy, and then injuries strike again, form dips, results collapse. This season has been a roller coaster, and just because things look good now, doesn't mean they'll stay that way. Pedri is still out. That's a huge absence in midfield. Yamal is back, but is he fully fit? Can Rashford maintain this form, or will he fade like he did at Manchester United? And here's the twist nobody's talking about. Barcelona's tactical system relies on having key players fit. When everyone's healthy, Hansi Flick's pressing game works perfectly. But when injuries hit, the system falls apart. There's no plan B. So the question isn't just, can Barcelona beat Chelsea? The real question is, can Barcelona stay healthy long enough to compete for trophies? Because if the injuries return, if Yamal goes down again, if Lewandowski gets hurt, if Pedri's absence extends, this resurrection story becomes just another false hope. Here's my second question for you. Is Barcelona's injury crisis truly over? Or are we just in a temporary healthy spell before the next wave hits? Let me know in the comments. So, here's where we are. Last season, Barcelona were unstoppable until one match broke their hearts. This season started strong, then injuries destroyed them. Back-to-back defeats, crisis mode. But now, players are returning. Form is improving. Camp Nou awaits, and Chelsea looms as the ultimate test. If Barcelona can beat Athletic Club this weekend, build momentum, stay healthy, and beat Chelsea in the Champions League, this becomes the comeback story of the season. But if injuries strike again, if form dips, if Chelsea expose their weaknesses, this becomes another what-if season for Barcelona. The next few weeks will define Barcelona's 2024-25 campaign. And we're about to find out if this resurrection is real or just another mirage. All right, let's wrap this up. Barcelona are back on their feet. Injuries are clearing, form is returning, Camp Nou is waiting, and Chelsea is coming. This is Barcelona's moment. But can they seize it? Now here's what I need from you. Hit that subscribe button on Cyberboot and turn on notifications. We're covering Barcelona's comeback story, the Champions League drama, and the biggest football stories with the depth they deserve. Drop a comment answering this. Can Barcelona beat Chelsea in the Champions League? And do you think their injury crisis is truly over? Tell me, who's been Barcelona's best player during this comeback? Yamal, Rashford, Lewandowski, or Frenkie de Jong? Let me know below. This is Cyberboot. We're building a community of fans who love football stories, not just the results. Subscribe, comment, and let's keep this conversation going. Until next time, remember, in football, it's not about how you fall, it's about how you get back up. And Barcelona, they're rising.